All right, everybody, welcome to our October the 9th Thanksgiving Monday night meeting. Hope everybody had a great weekend on the field as well with your families. We have a few things to discuss tonight, and then we're going to get Al to take over the Zoom call, and he's got some plays for us to watch tonight. So let's get started. And we are going to start with reviewing our week 5 games. And again, this is just a quick summary in case there's anything we need to know about teams, tendencies, or as well as any weird plays from the game. So let's start with Odyssey at Bernice McNaughton. Do we have anybody that was in that game? No. How about Harrison Tremble at Moncton High? Homecoming at for these two teams, and first time white hat in the homecoming game is Aaron Dunfield. So Aaron, go ahead and talk about this game.
Yeah, just a sec here. I'm fucking going through the rotary. That was a pretty good game, actually. I thought we gave him a good game. It was a close game, which was good to see. But other than that, we had a couple incidences with the clock, so we ended up getting Potter to time the second half, or I guess it was the fourth quarter, maybe from the sidelines. And then we had an issue with a laser pointer in the crowd. So I actually went up to the hut and got them to announce that we would have to kick people out if they kept doing it. They kept doing it. So Almac went over and actually got somebody ejected from the crowd. I don't know if it was actually the person with the laser pointer or not, but anyways, I don't think we had any other incidences after that. So, no, that was about it.
Okay. We had KV at Ormocto. Go once, twice, 3 times.
Oh, yeah, I was on that game.
Okay.
It wasn't extremely competitive. There's not much to say about it. KV just kind of walked away with it. There wasn't too many stupid penalties. There were a few, but despite it being one-sided, they played football.
Excellent. Okay. St. Max at St. John High.
Turning on it was, as you see the score, it was a one-sided game. The only concern is that I put in my report, Ray, was the talking through the plays by Phil McGarvey. And then even I noticed it last week up in Leo Hayes that what's his name? Yeah, Bobby McIntyre. He was talking throughout the game. I think a reminder needs to go out to both leagues, that when the whistle goes, when that referee's hand comes down to start the 20-second clock, you got to zip your lips. And until someone's hands kill the clock, it's got to stop, because we're having them yell out in a blowout game that it's a line drive kick. Like, it's not needed. Neither coach, the St. Max coach didn't say anything about it, so it wasn't an issue on the coaching end, but I find it quite annoying that guy needs to be reminded several times to keep his microphone off during the play. So if you can send a reminder out, that'd be great.
Yeah, they've already been reminded once this season, but I'll when I send Perry my report tonight, I will make sure that's brought up in there again.
Thanks.
Okay.
A flag might send a message quicker if they don't adjust.
Yeah, that's a great point. Great point. Leo Hayes at FHS. Nope.
I was on that game as well.
Okay.
It was a very good game. 7-7 at halftime, and FHS only pulled ahead for the game winner with about 40 seconds left to go. Couple URs in the game, but it wasn't anything real stupid. It was just, I think we had a head leading block where he thought he hit the guy with the shoulder, ended up not. and roughing the kicker that he just kind of misjudged it. So, really good football game, and the kids showed up to play.
That's great. Let's go to our 9-man league. We had Sussex at Hampton.
I was in that game. It was one-sided game, of course. We had a head leading tackle, sorry, and a couple URs to report it. Biggest thing there is we got to have a stipulation on the age group for sticks. We had a young kid, can't be more than 10, doing sticks.
Okay.
He was younger than that, and I was distracted trying to keep him safe. And I had suggested at the outset of the game, they didn't have a stick crew actually at the outset, so the coach had to go into the fans asking for volunteers. And this kid and his mom came, and she said, "Oh, he did it last week. He's fine." And there was a few times where I had to yell at him pretty quick to get him out of the way. I was a little concerned. It was definitely distracting.
That was in my game report from the week previous for the Simons Hampton game. Same
It's
thing.
probably the same kid, Al.
Yeah. It is. It is exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make mention of that to Perry in my report this week as well then. And that is at Hampton, right?
That was at Hampton. Yeah.
All right, I'll mention that this week as well.
But it's always the crew's option to change the stick crew. I mean, if it's a distraction from what's going on in the game, stop the game, go to the head coach of the home team and change the stick crew. You can't have a distraction like that going on through the whole game. It's always your option to do that.
And to be fair, Jack did suggest that to me and said if I found it a distraction that I could do that, and I didn't. And in hindsight, I should have. Nothing happened to the young kid. He's a nice little guy, but it really was. So they actually, in addition to that, they actually swapped out 2 other people. Like I turned around and there's somebody new there on the stick crew that just the one person decided they were done and a new person joined. That was more of an issue than sometimes in the little guy. But to be fair, Bill, you're right. I should have said something to Jack. I did say, no, it's fine, I'll handle it. But in hindsight, maybe we shouldn't have done that.
I'm sorry I missed the first part of the call here. I had something I had to do. Is Aaron on the call? Did he talk about the laser in the?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Good enough.
we talked about it. Yeah. All right. Rosse St. Stephen.
I was on that one. It was fairly one-sided, probably even more than what the score showed. St. Stephen scored with like 5 seconds left in the game to put their 6 on the board.
A little bit naughty.
We had a few issues with some of the kids on Rosse in particular, being right on that line of knowing they're about to get an OC and kind of backing off. And we also had a fairly significant injury to the Rosse running back, which delayed the end of the second quarter by about 20-25 minutes.
Okay. Harborview versus Simons. All right, before I get into the AUS games, this is just a reminder, folks. And not everybody's on here tonight, but I hope everybody sees this video. White Hats, I need your reporters quicker. There's still a few reports that I'm waiting for, and I've got to have my report to Perry on Monday. Now, I know today's a holiday, and luckily, this is the first week of the high school season. We don't have an ejection that I have to deal with. So, and now I haven't seen all the game reports, but hopefully, tomorrow when I send my report in, it just puts them on a short timetable to deal with these issues. So please get me your game reports within 24 hours of your game. I need these reports quicker. All right, let's go on to AUS. Acadia at St. FX.
We had a competitive game for first quarter, and then X just sort of dominated with their passing attack. We had three interesting plays that occurred in the game. We had a dual foul that the referee didn't realize it was a dual foul, and we started to get things screwed up. Got to correct it. We then had a pass interference that there was some confusion on who the interference was against, whether it was A or B. And we reset the sticks and everything else, and then found out that it was against Team A. But we were able to get it all reset. And watching the huddle, we put everything back exactly where it should have been, and then applied the penalty from there. We had another play where the quarterback, when you look at it, there was some thoughts that maybe it was a little bit of a forward shovel pass that I ruled as being incomplete. We talked about it after the game. I did watch it on video today, but it was one of those that, was it forward or was it lateral? And I went with the fact that I felt that it was forward, and I killed the play at that point. It was that close. So anyhow, it was a good game. We had a beautiful day, and one team substantially better offensively than the other and defensively than the other. So.
Yeah. All right. We got Bishops at St. Mary's. It's a big score.
Isn't that? It's exactly how you see it. It was an absolute curb stomp by Bishops. Smew's only points was on a kickoff return for a touchdown. There's a couple plays that, if we have time, I'd like to show. One was a touchdown called by me. It's one of those ones where it happens so fast that if you're not 100% focused on something, you may miss it. And for a bit after the call, I thought I missed it. I thought I screwed it up. So if we have a chance, and Al can bring it up, I have the numbers for him if we have a chance. But Bishops is by far vastly improved from when they first entered the league. I haven't seen the box score, but I'm pretty confident they ran well over 300, 400 yards of rushing.
Wow.
Quite dominant.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, that's our games for the week. We got a couple quiz questions that have been sent in by Eric LeBlanc. So, Eric, I'll read these off, and then I've got another screen where we break down the two answers. And if you want to jump in and talk at that point, I'll hand the mic to you. Eric's first.
Yeah, I will correct that they're my answers. They're not necessarily the right ones.
All right.
So we'll see what happens.
All right. There we go. All right. So, question number 1. Let's talk about this as a group. Team A gets a first down. Once the sticks have been set, Team A gets called for an OC. Would the next play be 1st and 20 or 1st and 10 back 10 yards? What do you guys think?
I think 1st and 10. Because the play has to start yet.
So first down's been achieved, and we have an OC. Okay, what do we got?
10.
Anybody else?
1st and 10, back 10 yards.
1st and 10. Time hasn't been blown in.
Yeah. There's not been
if the time had been blown in, then we go back 1st and 20. But time, according to this, has not been blown in. Stick's been set, but unless there's a whistle to say that 20 seconds has started, it would be 1st and 10.
Okay, we'll get back to that one in a few minutes. Let's talk about quiz question number 2. So Team A punts the ball. While the ball is laying on the ground, the Team A punter attempts to recover the ball. In the restraining zone, a Team B player holds the punter back and prevents him from recovering the ball. And then another player of Team B recovers the ball. What happens next?
Team A gets the ball. Who's ball interference?
Anybody else?
Remember that it's a punt.
And what state is the ball in until possession is gained? It's ball in
Yeah.
flight. Ball in flight, right?
Correct.
So if
It
it's
should be Team B ball, correct?
Ye-
I believe Team B ball.
it's team B ball, and we're going to apply the penalty from possession of the ball.
What penalty are you applying?
Correct.
What penalty
No.
are you applying?
A hold.
No yards?
No yards?
No.
Well, it's a punter, right? Not going to have no yards on a punter.
Well, we got here. Oh yeah,
You should
sorry.
be apply-
That's right. I initially thought another team A player came in to recover the ball, but it's a team B player that recovers the ball here.
You have a 10-yard illegal block penalty.
At point of possession.
Well, yeah, better to say where the ball's recovered.
All right. So Eric, I'm going to go over to what you have sent me. So
Yeah. Chris
Let's-
is making me think about my answer for the first one. Because in
So
my
Eric,
mind,
Eric, do you know what? I turned my camera on, but it's broke for some reason. So the only reason that's so fresh in my head was because of that email you sent me today from Josh, which got me rereading section 4 again. If you go to 2, if an objectionable conduct penalty is called after the referee has whistled time in for any down, the penalty will be loss of 10, line of scrimmage down repeated, and the distance chains will not be moved unless a first down is gained by team A, gained from a penalty against team B. So unless this says it's whistled in,
so the key here is the whistle in as opposed to the sticks being set.
So just to clarify, because I haven't read that, I haven't checked my rule book on that, Chris. So just to clarify, I'm the referee. Sticks are set. I have not blown my whistle in yet.
correct. That's
And we have-
the first sentence. If an objectionable conduct penalty is called after the referee has whistled time in for any down, the penalty will be loss of 10, down repeated.
Okay.
And the distance chains will not be moved unless a first down is gained from a penalty against team B.
All right. Does that make sense? Al, anything you want to add to that?
I'm leaning in that direction, but I don't have my stuff here either with me.
Guys, I didn't pull this out of my RC. And Eric, it's only because I reread that when I got home, that email, and I went back through that OC one from that email Josh sent you.
No, that's good. Yeah, because the way that I read it was with the sticks are set, and I'm reading the quote you have. So this is Rule 7, Section 4, Article 1D2. And yeah, you're exactly right. The whistle in is the key for them to move back.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. That's 0 for 1 for me. Let's see if I go get better.
Let's go to question 2. All right. So here's the answer. Why don't you break this down for us, Eric?
Yeah, so this was a play that we had in our minor game. And there's a lot of stuff that's happening here, even though the answer seems pretty straightforward. So the first thing you have to figure out as the white hat is if you have a single or a dual foul here. Because I think that we all kind of agreed that we have loose ball interference against team
Wait a
B.
minute,
No.
hold on. It's a punt. You can't have loose ball interference on a punt play.
Unless the ball has been touched by,
Yeah, okay.
touched legally or by the return team. Yes.
Yeah. could
To
have a
clarify
different-
that, Bill, you can't have loose ball interference while ball's in flight. That's the key difference there.
Okay, well, if the ball was on the ground and considered to be in flight until it's touched.
Right, exactly.
Bill, do you have that that in the rule book somewhere? I thought there was no loose ball interference on a kickoff, and the punt was okay.
No, the
Oh.
interpretation that we got from RRIC, and I thought it might have been sent out through our provincial association, is because in the rule book it says you cannot have loose ball interference on a ball in flight. Once the ball is touched, we now have possession. So if you think about the ruling where it talks about the ball being touched on a kick, is deemed the point of possession for penalty application. So on a punt, if it hits me, that is now the point of possession. And now we can have an illegal interference foul. If the ball is not touched by anybody, we cannot have illegal interference on a loose ball. But we
It's-
could have something else.
It's Rule 9, Section 3, Article 1A. A player shall not interfere with an opponent attempting to recover a ball which is loose from a fumble, block kick, dribbled ball, or wild snap. So not a punt
Until it's touched.
until it's touched.
Yeah.
And then you have to decide what you have. You could have loose ball interference after it's been touched.
Eric, did you not get that from JB?
I didn't get a lot of stuff from JB.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm reading that there. Okay, so I'm 0 for 2 then, which is great. No, so we have nothing here.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do, yeah.
All right, let's
You got
read
an
it.
illegal block. You got a legal block at the point of recovery.
Yeah.
Is what you got.
Yeah, and that's just a back 10, I guess.
Back 10 from the point recovered and go from there. And the very key thing, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, people that are back with the returner, you've got to have a beanbag on this spot because that spot's going to be very important when we go to apply the penalty. Right?
We had one of these, Eric, in a game. I don't know if Todd Shepard's on right now. I think Todd was in the crew. And the ball was kicked out his way. And the question was asked, did we have a touch on the kick? And the answer was, yes, we did. If I remember correctly, yes, we did, which meant we could then have loose ball interference.
Yeah.
If it was a punt, touched, we could have loose ball interference. Punt, no touch, we have to have something else.
I don't want to get picky here, but the team B player is holding the punter, so he is legally allowed to block. He can't hold, so technically, would this be a holding penalty? rather
You
than-
could call it a holding, yeah.
Yeah,
More often than not, we have somebody pushing somebody out of the way.
yeah. I don't
So-
think it would be an illegal block because team B could, in fact, are entitled to block.
Yeah, so he's holding, yes, you're correct. We have a 10-yarder for the hold. Yeah.
Okay.
But he,
just-
but he couldn't block him from behind, could he, Bill?
Oh, no.
Then you have an illegal block.
Yeah.
Right.
So Eric's well-written question points out that the player holds the punter. So we have a 10-yard holding penalty.
Yep.
If we look at what Michelle said, if the team B player pushed the punter from behind, then we might have one of two penalties, depending on whether we have a push in the back or we have a blocking from the rear.
So the answer then would be team B did recover the ball, but they are subject to a 10-yard penalty for the hold.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good question,
All right.
Eric.
Good question.
Well, I'm glad me looking stupid was a benefit to everyone else. So
Eric,
there
that's
we
a
go.
great teaching tool. That's what you do when you teach. You set things up and then let people try and figure them out. That was
That's it.
well worded. Well done.
I'm going 2 for 2 for you, Eric. Those are 2 great scenarios that you don't see every day, but they're very important scenarios.
Exactly.
And geez, like if the rest of the group once a week, somebody comes up with some of these scenarios, it gives us something to break down as a group. So I loved it. Great job.
We broadened your horizon, Eric.
There we go.
Did we, I'm sorry to beat this one. Did we not talk about that at one of our this group meeting early in the season?
I know at some point we did break down the ball and flight.
That was AUS.
We didn't talk about it here, Aaron?
No, we didn't. We only talked about it at AUS.
Okay.
So we need to get that printed, Ray, and then have you send it out to everybody. So
okay,
it's black and white.
Sounds good. If one of you guys could just text me that rule, then I will make sure to get it out. Okay.
You should have it. You were in the car with me when we were going down.
I do, but I don't have it off the top of my head here, Gates.
All right.
Okay, write this down, 931A.
931A. Okay.
And I'll get.
Come on, Al, he was probably driving, right?
I was.
I never drive to AUS. Never drive.
Okay.
Well, there is one scenario I will, but that's another topic. All right, let's go. Al's videos. All right, so Al, I'm going to make you host here.
Okay. Am I now host? I'm host.
You're a host.
Perfect. Share screen. Everybody see that one? Now I can't see it because everything's up freaking top of it. There we go. Okay, so we'll what? Can you see my home screen?
I can now. Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Wake up. Okay, so I've deleted a couple of these just so we don't belittle things. This is from the UN. This is a 6-member crew. This is from Dalhousie at UNB a week or two ago. And there's going to be a couple of these come up. So I think one of the areas of focus that we need to attend to in the next week or two is field goal coverage. So this is a attempted field goal by UNB. Oh God, I can move it up here. There we go. So we need early signals. So if the ball is going to be wide and it's noticeably wide, we need the guy who's staying to indicate that it's wide. Still facing the field, one arm out, and away we go. Okay, so that's step number 1 in this sequence. Part number 2 is this guy, the moving official, needs to get going quicker as opposed to standing under the post and looking to see where the ball goes. So this person needs to haul their backside back quickly. The other official needs to indicate that it's wide and slide into the post so that we get things done. Okay, so that's from the UNB game. The next one. Okay, I'm going to show you 4 of these clips and different things. So watch this cat right here. Hello. Okay, so we missed that one, but it was noticed and we talked about it. One of the things we talked about after this play, and I slid in and spoke to Chris and Jim because I was one of the deep officials in the game. I said, so if I see that, and I just caught that one out of the corner of my eye, I said, maybe I should be calling that from a deep position, which is sort of like the concept we had years ago with the crackback block, because sometimes the referee and umpire's focus is going in the direction where the play is going, and that's sort of a trail position. So again, it's just one of those things that we're seeing a bunch of, these guys who are deciding that it's okay to block below the knees. Next one.
Just before you go on,
Okay, yeah.
You bring up a point there that
Oh, stop. Sorry. Yeah.
that's come up, and that is an official calling fouls in another official's area of responsibility. What I've been using, and I think some others have as well, is unless it's a major foul, you should not be throwing flags for something minor. If it's a
Exactly.
If it's a major foul, throw your flag, and the first thing to do, go to the official in whose area the foul occurred, talk to them, and see if they saw it or what their opinion is before you take it to the referee.
Yeah.
But a major foul, like, blindside, head leading tackle or something like that, you do need to call those, but just make sure that you've got all the information before you take it to the referee.
And I fully support that, Bill. This is because it's 6 officials, we have that extra body deep that sliding back and forth that sometimes it's easier to see, but fully support Bill's comment that if I am on one side of the field and I see something on the far side that's a major foul, I need to have all the information and then convey that on to the people in that zone to see if we're all on the same page. Okay, no question about that at all. So we're going to watch this critter right here. And you can't tell me these guys aren't being coached to go low. Okay, so the action again, he doesn't even elevate. He goes right towards, now there's no contact in this play, but he goes right towards him. So I'll mention this later on once we get a little bit further on. This will be the last one from the UNB game. If anybody has a question or concern at any time, please stop me before I ramble on. Just don't want to hold everybody up tonight. Okay, so we're going to watch this running back, and he's hard to see. It's this guy right here. So the offensive tackle's right here, where my cursor is. The running back's right behind him. So that's the critter we're watching. He's going to release out. So he's coming out of the backfield. This is the guy right here we're watching. Okay, so we're watching these two. Is what the kid in red does it impede or take the player taken, or is the player taken off stride by what he does? Thoughts? So the question is what the kid in red does a foul?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't see
Yeah.
anything either there. No.
Okay, it's a question. That's why it's there.
But he's trailing, like you said last week. He is trailing, but he doesn't seem to change his stride at all.
I'll go forward a little more.
Yeah, I think
You
he's
want to see the
reaching-
jersey pull?
The jersey pull, yeah, right here.
Right there?
Oh, right there, yeah.
Oh.
But hold it now. Whoa. A jersey pull does not automatically indicate pass interference.
No, I'm
or
not saying
illegal
it does,
contact.
but if we watch it without it, like for me, it's a little choppy, and I don't know if it's everyone choppy, but
Okay,
does that
so this
pull
is-
him off
this is-
stride? That's
This
your
is
question.
regular
CB.
speed.
Right. See, it's breaking up for me. I don't know if
Oh,
that's
is it?
doing it for everyone or if it's your connection or mine, but your question was, is he being thrown
Is he
off
being
stride?
impeded? Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty choppy on my end too.
Okay, sorry. So he does grab him. There's no slow down to the receiver going out, even though there is a tug in the jersey. I think the proper thing is to pocket your flag on that play. Okay?
Really? What, a quick question. I need to know this stuff because I look at that and it's, if you see it, to me, it looked like a hold. But
But
you
does
would
it-
say because it didn't slow his speed down, you wouldn't call it.
I would not call that.
Okay.
Player is
All right.
still going in this, it's still running his route. He's not slowed down. He's not knocked off his route or slowed down or impeded, and he's not knocked off his route on this play. So those are things that we have to look at. He still has an opportunity to catch the ball.
And there was no complaint from the player afterwards. Hey, didn't you see that?
Not a word said.
Okay.
Not
All
a
right.
word said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do I get you guys all out of the way here? Do that. There. Okay, so I want to go to high school. So we just St. Max. Okay, so here's our first play, courtesy of the drone. So here's a question based on what happens on the line of scrimmage. Okay, should the play be killed?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we have a, oh yeah,
He went through and, sorry, I was muted. I screamed. He went through and made contact. So yes.
has he broken the line of scrimmage?
I would say his foot's on.
His helmet has.
Has he broken the line of scrimmage? That ball's still in the center's hand.
Yeah, his helmet and his head has.
Okay, please note that the stick is not on the double line. Okay, so the player has broken the line of scrimmage, the defensive player. Okay. Should it have been a kill play?
Yes,
Yes. Who should the foul be on?
the defensive player.
A white guy, yeah.
Okay, rationale for it being on the defensive player?
The offensive lineman didn't react.
Okay, watch.
He broke the
watch
plane of
this.
the line of scrimmage.
Watch this player right here where my cursor is. Everybody see that? Okay, so we're watching the left tackle. Okay.
That wasn't a move that drew him offside.
He was defending himself from a guy coming running at him.
Key point. Key point. If I remember correctly, and I didn't pull up play 10, the penalty was charged against the blue team.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, ow.
I can check
Flag
that
was-
later. What's that?
The flag was out before that guy even brought his arms up.
Yeah, and I believe we went against the blue team. Anyhow, we can check that in a minute. Play 51. Oh, okay, so this is a play. Watch the goal line. Okay, so there's a period of time before, oh shoot, before Mike actually indicates that the ball is down before it crosses the goal line. Shoot.
Boom, because his knee was down there.
Okay, so what we need to have on plays like this is because this is a really important line. This line in this situation, or if it was a pass, it could be the dead ball line. We need horses in there quickly, okay, to help, in this case, to help the umpire with that call. So if you watch, there's nothing. And then the umpire points down that we're here and nothing else is seen.
The guy on the other side, the far side, what the lineman stops at about that spot.
But there's the whole issue is everything is in slow motion.
Yeah.
This is where the threat is. The play is going dead here. It's not going all of a sudden pop out. We need horses there right away to make that call.
Okay.
I'm not,
okay,
and I'm
okay.
not questioning the fact that Mike's call is, the umpire's call is correct. The guy was down, but everything's just very slow and nothing seems to be happening.
Okay. Got it.
And just remember, you've got a wide side official that's responsible for the line, but once that ball goes, the official's got to move with the ball.
And I'm not, before I go any further, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody because this guy right here is just as guilty. And this guy right here is me. Okay, so it's not on these 4 guys. It's on all 5 of us. That's where we need to get to. Okay, it's an important line. This is just sort of a question on on this play. This was a neat play that came out the sideline. I had a question, I think, from one of the guys about what happens. Okay, so is there a foul here, firstly? So between these, come on, back up. Do we have a foul that's going to occur involving these two players? Anybody's thought right now?
Blindside.
Is that a white arm?
Where, right here? This is
Yeah.
this is blue. This is a blue kid. No,
Right.
that's his arm. He's got long
Okay.
white sleeves on.
Okay, but who is right? There's a flesh
this
color.
player-
No, that guy's all white. Okay.
Everybody's all white. The arms
Yeah.
are all white with everybody. So, okay,
Hmm. Did he lead with his helmet?
I don't know. So the first question is there a foul between these two players, involving those two players? Why did my thing disappear?
Can
Okay.
you blow it up? Can you blow it up?
No, this is huddle. This is big
Okay.
as it gets. Okay, so you're watching these two players. What is the kid in blue doing? He's on the kicking team. What is he doing?
Going to retrieve the ball.
Going down,
He's
yeah.
going to retrieve the ball. What does this kid do? The kid in white doing?
He's running back towards his goal line.
Okay, he's doing that, but what is in his mind right now?
And knock the kid out of bounds.
Block him.
Block him. He's coming back to block. Okay. Now there's other things that fall into place with this. Okay, so we have contact. Are we in agreement or disagreement that we have a foul on that?
Was that a punt play? Is he 5 yards
Oh,
close?
no,
to
it might have been a
kickoff?
punt.
Okay.
You guys were in the game. I was in the game too. I believe it was a punt play.
It was a punt, yeah.
Was a
So
punt.
that's not 5 yards, is it?
I don't know yet.
Is blue too close?
To what?
The ball before somebody touches it?
Marshall, key statement. No yards does not occur until the ball is touched by a member of the return team.
And it doesn't
Okay.
look like, I don't know if that guy has touched it though, if it bounced.
He has not touched it yet. Okay, so let's leave the no yards out of it. Is this a foul?
I say yes.
You say
It-
yes.
Because he
Okay.
was heading back towards his dead ball line.
Okay, so firstly, it's not legal. You've told me that. You think it may be a blindside block?
I say yes.
You think it's a blindside?
I
block? Could it
I
be
agree
an-
with Ian. Ian, I agree with you. I'll raise you a piece of pie.
Okay, could it be an illegal block? Remember last week when you talked about blocking from the rear versus a push in the back?
It
Could it
really
be an-
would be blocking from the rear, but I think you could make a case for a blind side.
Okay, so
He's not in the blind, he's not in the back at all. They're even.
It doesn't matter. It's
Okay.
a permissible block.
so we have a UR here. Could we have an illegal interference on a loose ball?
No, it's a punt.
Anything else that we could have?
Does it count if he hit the guy that was trying to get it? So he would actually, you're preventing him from touching the ball? Right there? When he
Who
when he
touches the
hits him
ball
in the-
first?
Well, he kicks him in the stomach with his shoe. So that might be preventing him from actually getting
Before his
access.
shoe hits it. Okay. So there's a whole series of things that could have been called on this play. The first one being potential for it to be a blindside block because of the direction the white player's coming in. Okay. The second thing is we potentially have an illegal touching by the kid in blue because it appears on the video that he might touch the ball first. And if he doesn't touch the ball first and White touches it first, then what else do we have? What else do we have? Michelle, I'll go back to you again.
Loose ball foul.
No,
No yards.
no yards.
Right.
Now, is this going to be a 5-yard or a 15-yard no yards penalty?
15, he made no attempt to not be in there.
So it's something that there's like 5 different things that happen in the time frame from right here, one more, right here until the play's done. So this is at marker 8:27. The play, when everything's said and done, is 12:11. So the officials that are covering this need to evaluate a lot of stuff. There was no foul in the play. Play was discussed in our post game about the foul that may have been missed, what kind of foul, and so on. Anyhow,
Al,
yes.
Would you,
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the rules where if the team pushes them to give them no yards?
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You
Okay.
make a case for that.
Can you, in this case?
Absolutely. The
Yeah.
white person pushed the blue person, blindsided them. I would have called a blindside, but I would not call no yards because he got help from the white shirt guy there, St. John Higher.
Yeah.
He was inside the 5 yards before he made contact, though.
Yeah, and he pushed it from the side, so he shouldn't have gone forward.
The ball wasn't touched.
Hold on, guys.
so
You
with
just
no
said, you
yards-
just said, you said a couple seconds ago that we don't have a no yards foul.
Not yet.
But think of it. So everyone's kind of debating whether you can be the no yards foul. The thing is when we have somebody rip someone's face mask off, we don't send the kid off for 3 plays, right? Because there's a foul. If it's caught, if we have a UR face mask and the helmet gets ripped off, that kid does not leave for 3 plays because the helmet come off as a foul. Same with this. If
Yeah.
we have a blindside block that's now pushed into an illegal touching or a no yard situation, he was forced into that situation.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
this guy number 5 here for St. Max doesn't touch him, yeah, then you have a no yards call when he eventually touches it. Absolutely.
Good
But the
point.
law of physics are if you push him from the side, he should have gone out of bounds.
Doesn't matter. It's a blindside block that you
Right.
need to call, but I don't think you call the no yards.
Absolutely not.
That would be a discussion, most certainly a discussion that needs to be had. Anyhow, interesting play that happens at over a period of about 3.5 to 4 seconds.
But you wouldn't call no yards, even though the ball hadn't been touched and the guy was gonna touch it, which he was still 5 yards.
You cannot call a no yards until the ball is touched by either blue or white.
So
Okay,
even
you-
looking at the spot that Blue was hit at before he got hit, that would
You-
have been 5 yards. That wouldn't have made.
Doesn't matter because you can't, the 5 yards, the 5-yard halo is designated where the ball is touched. So in this case, the foul was back here a bit, causing this kid to go out of control and end up hitting the ball. Once he hits the ball, then you need to decide, did that hit cause him to touch the ball? If it did, then the no yards penalty is waived, does not exist. If you determine that that contact did not push him into the ball, once the ball is touched, then you have no yards. But we're sort of screwing around a whole series of things here. A simple no yards penalty cannot be called until the ball is touched by the returner or illegally touched by a member of the kicking team. In this play situation,
What did number 48 say, the referee that's there?
Andrew?
That was me. I was just snapping my head around. I was kind of watching those back guys, the blue. There's another referee right down the line as well. But at the time, I couldn't tell what angle White was coming at. So when I snapped my head around, I wasn't sure where he came from. So I wasn't able to call a blindside on that myself.
Okay. 61. This is one that they chirped at us about, and we ended up having a coach's technical timeout. So Ormukta throws the ball, which is intercepted very nicely by this kid. Then starts a return, gets hit, ball comes out, and the player is driven back. Okay, now we have a whistle. So what all do we have?
Pitcher of beer.
Okay. I would like to agree with you, Bill, because I would have benefited from the pitcher of beer on this one. But when I watched it on video, I don't think we have an inadvertent whistle. So you need to watch where 5 gets hit. So he's hit right here and is now going backwards. So now it's a toss-up. Was forward progress stopped before the ball came out? If it was, then there's no inadvertent whistle. If it was not stopped before the ball came out, then we have a live ball. And then we had the whistle. Here's the interesting thing from the coach.
Again?
You want it back again, or do you want me to say again?
No, yeah, let's see it again and then just walk us through it.
Okay. So interception by the kid in white. Starts the return, hit. Okay. Ball is out.
That
We have
would
a whistle.
That would be a pretty quick call on a forward progress stopped, I would say. It was part of the tackle. I think you have to figure the ball came loose.
Okay. So if the ball comes loose, we then have an inadvertent whistle. Okay. Who has choices on the inadvertent whistle at this point in time?
White.
Team last in possession.
Team last in possession.
Yeah.
And that was the one point that the coach of the blue team really couldn't get their head around. They didn't understand why that would be the case because they thought it was all part of the regular process of the game. Anyhow, that was his only point. And as far as knowing that it was inadvertent or whatnot, it really didn't become fully aware until we met with the coach. But it was just one of those, Bill, I fully agree that to make the call right now that he's being driven back, unless you're standing right here and can determine that that's where he got hit, that's where he lands, it's a tough call. So we had an inadvertent, ball went back to the correct team, and away we went. Okay.
I think if he had retained possession of the ball all the way to the ground, I probably would have given him forward progress.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can look at that play and say forward progress was stopped because it was part of the tackle and not some kind of a group effort to hold on to a guy.
I agree with you, but why would you, if he held onto the ball when he went to the ground, why would you give him the spot up here?
Because that was his point of forward progress.
Okay. So if that's his point of forward this is a debate we could go on for a while. That's his point of forward progress and he gets hit and driven back.
But it wasn't like a mass group of players or him being pushed back over a period of a second or two. It was part of one guy tackling him at the point and pushing him back.
Yeah. I won't disagree with that. Yeah. And it's a bang type of play too.
Okay, so you would put the ball where Bill said.
If he took the ball to the ground.
If he retained possession.
Okay, if the ball doesn't come loose and the white player takes it to the ground here, we would give him possession up here where he first got hit.
Okay, so now what would you do?
Now that it's loose and we have an inadvertent whistle,
yeah,
we now need to go back and figure out approximately where was that point when the ball came loose. So that it would have been roughly in the same area.
So then what do you do? Have a basketball jump ball or something? Like what do you?
It's first down at that point.
Yeah.
The team
or white
possession.
Yeah.
Or for white?
White, yes.
For white.
Yeah.
Last in possession.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So again, one quick play. We were accused by the coaches that the team in blue was cutting.
Oh, White went down there.
Yeah. And he does it on the very next play. Part of the issue that we're having with kids that are doing all this cutting, I don't care what league it is, excluding the AUS, is that these kids are being coached to do that. They're being coached on short yardage situation and goal line situations to go as low as they possibly can. And they're being coached by coaches who have played U Sport, or they're being coached by kids who are playing U Sport right now, where that is legal. It's not legal in any other amateur league across the country. I shouldn't say that quickly. Derek, you might be able to confirm. In Canadian Junior, can they block below the knee?
No, they can't.
They can't. So it's only U Sport amateur that they can. Okay. I gotta get moving. Sorry. Okay, 2 plays from the Tantramar game. They go block. Okay, so up here. Watch number 23 in blue. Who should all be looking in this area? Wow, that's terrible English. Okay, so who should have coverage in this area?
The Downs guy.
Okay. So we have 2 individuals. So this is, let me back it up just a touch. This is the first wave of people coming down to the returner. So if you remember your mechanics, if you have the ball, like this guy has right now, what does your arm do? On a punt or a kickoff. If you have the ball, what do?
Raise your arm.
You raise your arm, which indicates you have the ball. What should this official be doing?
Pointing at the first wave.
They have the blocking. The line judge coming down, coming down would also have blocking in this area. So we should have a couple of sets of eyes on this area. Okay, to pick up this stuff, because the little shove probably is not going to hurt this kid unless he lands wrong in his shoulder. But if he takes out this kid, that's potential for a so it's just the trail part of the play. We've got to make sure that we have bigger eyes to pick those things up.
But I would say in the defense of the Downs judge, he probably, he wasn't ball hawking. He was looking back to make sure there was nothing happening. And then his attention came back to that area of the field, but by that time it's too late.
Oh yeah, no, I don't dispute that at all, Joe. I don't dispute that at all. You're probably pretty accurate on it. Because you have a lot of bodies coming.
Yeah, you guys are always saying that's not ball hawk. Make sure we're following him behind, and I think that's what this gentleman did. Was he was looking to make sure there was nothing dirty going on, and then once he was satisfied, his attention where it should have been.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
and then this happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we have the second set of eyes that should be peeking into. Okay.
So here's a question. Sorry, go back to that, Al, if you don't mind for a second. I'm a little slow. I wish these games could be played at slower speeds, like everybody runs slow enough. But should this guy, since he's closer, be looking at this group of 4 and the
which
other
person?
guy? Sorry, you can't see my cursor. So the down judge be looking at that group of 4, and the other guy looking at that group. The guy underneath the goalpost?
It's one of those situations that this guy, by manual, which is a guide, is supposed to be looking at that first wave of players coming downfield.
Okay.
This person is supposed to be looking in for blocking in front of the ball. So to say one person has more priority than the other,
okay,
I don't want to say that. The down judge might have a better eye that way. But like Joe said, once you do a quick check, then you're starting to check for other things happening too.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so last one from this game. So this is a short yardage play. Please note, we have 5 guys on the crew. Okay, it's 3rd down and probably 2 that we're going to go. and everybody does what they're supposed to do. Okay, which is what we should be doing on every play. And we do most plays. So the down judge is going to come in on coverage. The line judge is going to come in to support. The referee steps up with the play, even though it's done. He's got his big boy sneakers on that day. The umpire is going to slide in to take a look at the line of scrimmage, and the back umpire slides up to give support. Okay. This is the way it should be done. Okay. Everything's not bad. Okay. Am I going too long? My apologies.
Al, can I ask a question on that last one?
Yeah.
Could the down judge, as the play was so far, he was on the wide side of the field, could he have stepped up like 10 feet just to be a little bit closer?
Before the play goes?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that as long as the players allow you, but also don't go in there and you be flat-footed and then all of a sudden have the play come flying back at you and not be able to get out of the way. You have to be cautious, especially with high school kids and above, because they can cover distances very quickly.
Yeah, but if they're all squished in, right? If they're all squished in and you could be 10 or 15 feet away from the players, can you move in, scooch in just a bit?
10 or 15 yards. I go 15 to 20, 15 to 17 yards. And keep in mind, from the down judge side, that's the side the umpire is stepping in. So the down judge is really coming in just to make sure people are being good people. The umpire is stepping in to help get the spot based on where the play was lined up. The play is not. Oh, so this is a punt play. So on this punt play, if it's not blowing dead, so now you've got to use your imagination. This is just like Mr. Gressa. You need to use your imagination here. If the play's not dead, would there be a foul on the play? And the question then would be, why or why not? Okay. So the two arrows are pointing at the guys you might want to focus on. Okay. Want to see again?
So first of all, the play was blown dead as not an opportunity to give yards?
Yes, the play was blown dead.
Okay.
Okay, but right now at 5 after 8 on Monday night, it's not blowing dead. And so we're watching these two birds. If we have anything, what do you have?
No yards.
No yards.
Oh, there's a blind side.
Oh, there's a block. Well, that's not a blind side.
Well,
he steps into him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I see. It could be.
It's a forcible block parallel to the line.
But did he move backwards to get there? He moved a little bit. Watch him.
Yeah, he's
moving backwards.
And then goes parallel.
And then
forward.
Then goes parallel. He ends up looking like he's going forward after he hits. So we have a kid coming back, goes straight down the line, delivers a block. Okay, so think back to the one I showed you a few clips ago where we were talking about a blindside block, no yards, da-da-da. So these two kids coming in, boom. Now I touch the ball. Do we have any fouls? Foul or fouls?
We can't call no yards because he's that contact by White prior to the touching of the ball.
Perfect. So no yards does not exist. Are we all good with that?
Oh man.
What about the no yard for the other guy beside him?
So you're not going to nail the guy for the blindside block?
Yeah. Oh, no. We're talking no yards right now. Okay, just no yards.
Okay.
You could get no yards for the second guy in.
But he would have been there anyway. He probably would have nailed the receiver. I know that.
Michelle, forget anyway. Michelle, forget the anyway.
Okay.
You can't include that.
Let it go.
Maybe we have a no yards on this kid. I know you can't see my cursor.
Yeah, okay.
You might have a no yards on this kid coming in and maybe this kid. Okay? I won't disagree with that. Okay. But do we have anything else? Okay, so we've got the no yards. We're all in agreement with possibly a no yards. And it's not going to be against who? Boom.
The first guy, it's just against
Okay.
the second guy in the middle.
35 is not the no yards kid.
So it's
Okay.
always if they were contacted, so pretty much if they were contacted, they can't be charged with no yards.
Yeah, if this guy pushes them into the returner, that's what caused the black kid to be run into the white kid. That illegal contact. So, and again, keep in mind, the covering officials in this game did the right thing. They killed the play.
Did they do anything else? Even
Well,
though the play was,
Bill, I don't know the answer to that. Sorry.
even though the play was killed, you still have a blindside block.
You still do. You have a UR foul. Okay. So coming out of this play, because it was killed, as Bill said, you would have one penalty against number 80 for a UR blindside hit on 35. If the play wasn't killed, you would have a dual penalty, a 15-yard blindside block followed by
15 yards.
a 15-yard no yards penalty. Okay. Next one. God, I gotta get through this. Forget that one. So watch the blocking by the kid right here. I'm just going to show you. Watch that, how this kid blocks. You think what he's trying to do is legal? Show you again, just very quickly. You have to figure in
Which
your own
guy?
mind. Okay, it's back it up. Come on, back up. I think it's the right guard. So it's this kid right here, the kid, big tall kid with the yellow
Okay.
helmet. So just something to keep in mind, that that's probably going to lead to a non-legal block at some time.
He was trying to remove his helmet for him.
He was being helpful. Dahlia B. Okay, I've got three more and then I'm done. My apologies. Close that guy. Go to quick cut. Okay, no, I want these guys first. Okay, one clip from this game. Come on, load up. That's not going to do it. Okay, damn grass field. Okay, again, wide field goal. This is a wide field goal. What does this play? Oh, yes, Simon Sam. Oh, so Ray Dunn was courageous enough a week ago to send out that notification to all the coaches and to the Football New Brunswick, and yet we still had coaches yesterday asking us if they could do the CFL onside kick at the line of scrimmage to get automatic first down. And whoever the referee was, I think it was John McDonald, said to them, no, you can't, or whoever it happened to be in that game. I don't know. So we all know that in Canadian amateur football, the only way in which it can be a first down is for it to be legally recovered by a member of the kicking team, and yards have to be gained, right? We all understand that. If it touches a B player, then yards being gained doesn't have any bearing. So this is really neat because it came out right last weekend after that. So we're watching this kid who lines up onside and is onside when the ball is kicked. Even though he gets beat around a bit, he legally recovers the ball. The covering official, Michelle, throws her flag for what?
No yards.
I don't know. I don't know who's on side.
Perfect.
That's what you're supposed to do.
You are supposed to do that. And then once we all got together, it was determined that this kid, and I think Matt throws his flag too, that this kid was on side. Hampton gets first down. That's how the kids do it in Canada for onside players and legally recovering the ball. Okay. 32. Okay, wide field goal. Again, watch our reaction. Okay, wide my side, I'm staying. The moving official covers no yards. Okay, so who's got the dead ball line? Who's got the goal line? Who's got the no yards? Okay, keep those things in mind. A wide field goal is a missed punt. Okay, come on, go to the next one. Oh, son of a gun.
Weird when you said that. So if it's a missed punt,
If it's a missed field goal, it's a punt.
but could anybody, I guess nobody's onside to be able to go grab
Well,
it.
unless
Okay.
if they had somebody that's onside, they could. Oh, this is a gray area one. This is one that's covered probably pretty well. Okay, so we have a blindside block right here. Okay, there's no question on this one. This kid's going towards their own dead ball line and delivers a forceful hit. Okay. We have one flag. We have two flags. Okay, 1, 2's coming. So we have two flags on what happened here. The question is, who's covering all those other bodies running around? This is a 5 official crew.
Well,
Are you asking that because nobody has flags in their pockets anymore?
No, the question
They're
is
still
that,
covered.
what's that, Joe?
I said, those officials, the one in the back there threw his flag and the other one, they're still covering those bodies.
Okay, so this guy out here, this official, and we can't see the third official. Oh, it's right there. Those 3 officials are the ones that need to be making sure they're babysitting the foolishness in here where most of those players are. Now, if you remember, I said when I first started this clip, I said this is one of the calls that's a gray area. Because please note, the back umpire here has these 2 guys right now, and the ball is right here. The ball is not threatened yet. So the down judge is now looking this way, getting ready to pick it up, and sees this right there. The 2 flags on this play, there's nothing wrong with that. It's if we would have had a 3rd and 4th flag, but the 2 flags on the play are okay because it's a transition zone. But what we need
Is there a
to
butt
do
in there?
is
Since
what?
is there a butt in there that you're?
No, there isn't a
Because
butt.
I'm the downs judge throwing the flag.
Yeah, no, there's no butt on this. It's one of those that it's just a transition. So it's in that area where you're starting to pick it up and he's just starting to let it go. The butt is that these 3 guys need to make sure, Joe used the term earlier, they're not ball hawking this kid, that they're watching the other 17 players or whatever it is that are left standing. Okay, there's nothing wrong with the 2 flags because it's a transition zone.
Okay.
It would have been really bad if there were no flags. But no,
I thought you were going to show the flag where I threw it at the kid's face, but I don't think it's this play.
So then you need to take lessons from Chris Wall.
Oh, I hit a kid in the head. He looked at me, why did you hit me? I'm like, I didn't mean to. So Al, if another penalty would have occurred and those 2 guys had thrown their flags, we're not supposed to throw our hats anymore. What do you do?
Let me tell you this one, Michelle. I was involved in a quadruple UR penalty on Saturday. And the only other official, I had 3.5 of the 4 flags. The only person that helped me out was Pat Mullins. He had the other half. He and I shared a number. I had the other 3. I only had 1 flag in my pocket. And I just said, that's on you, that's on you, and that's on you. And I think we all got the numbers right. But you don't have to throw your flag. You just need to start taking numbers. Throwing your hat has become a little bit of taboo. you should not have a second flag, but it's sort of become a little bit of a taboo going as we move forward. Okay, so
thanks.
Ray,
Yeah,
where do I change this back?
you go to mine and you hit my 3 buttons and make me host.
Okay, participant, right? Okay. Oh, that's me. I'll let you be the other host. Make host. Sorry that I sort of wrangled on with some of that. Hope it was beneficial to you. And anyhow, I tried it. I'm now able to find some stuff that we have that are 6 official, 5 official, and 4 official, because now Ray and I have access to all of it. And I'm trying to leave the U Sports stuff out of it and deal with our stuff. There was a few extras tonight, and I'll try not to have as many next week.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Al.
No problem.
All right, so we don't have time to go through this at this point, but your rules study for this week is applications. So I really want you to focus chapter 8 heading into your games this week. We're heading into week 6. So the way we're applying our rulings on the field, we should be at elite level at this point. So let's really dig into our rule books and understand we have a good, solid understanding of point of applications. Okay, so please take some time to go through that this week before your games. One other thing I want to talk about before this week is over is not this Thursday coming, but the Thursday after that, October the 19th, we are going to have our 2nd annual retro game. This one is in support of Ray Muir, and we'll pass out more details about Ray Muir's career. Keep an eye on social media, and please share this, because this is a great event for us to be promoting officiating and try to get some recruitment done out of this type of game as well. The game will be at Fredericton, Scotia South, and this is an 8 o'clock kickoff. In the crew selected by Ray, we've got Al Gates, Andrew Bubar, Jim Fowler, Patrick Fairweather, Pat Mullins, and Paul Mullins, and of course, Ray Muir and his 7-person crew. All other MBFOA members are invited. I'm going to do my best to be there as well. So if anybody's interested in going from the Moncton area, let's start having discussions about carpooling St. John as well. Okay? So,
Ray, before we leave this one, because it is a retro game, I was in contact with Jeff Erman's wife just the other night. She has some equipment that she wanted to provide to our association. There are a couple of pieces of equipment that I purchased from her because I didn't think it was correct to take for free. There is a wide stripe, black sleeve, extra large short sleeve shirt, and there is a pair of extra large pants. They are hemmed. I'm not sure of the inseam yet that I have, and a couple of flags, a black hat and a white hat that I have that if you're interested, shoot me an email and we can work out terms and agreement and so on. But Sherry was more than happy to provide that with us. I just didn't think it was correct to take it for nothing. So I do have a couple of those things. And did I mention about making sure that we talk properly to players? Did I say that before the video?
no,
Oh, shoot. Can I do that now?
do it.
Okay. One of our officials was told by a coach in our area, in the St. John area, that a couple of players have come to him and mentioned about officials saying that they're calling the game different because of the score of the game. As Bill Glendenning used to say, the walls have ears and we need to be very cautious of what we say. And sometimes how we say it can be taken out of context, especially by younger ears. So telling a player or insinuating to a player, I called that because you're winning by 50 points or whatever, that's not proper. I know we do those things, but we cannot say that to players. We become more vigilant when a team is winning by a substantial amount, but we need to be cautious of how we say things because context with young ears or sometimes even adult ears may be taken out of cue. Okay, so be cautious of what we say. Thanks, Rick.
Good point. Michelle, I see you got your hand up.
I do. I manage that part of technology. What do we wear to Ray's party? Do we wear like our jerseys or just normal clothes?
No, I'm gonna wear. I'll have my MBFOA jacket on.
Okay.
But outside that, I'll just be normal, casual
Okay.
wear.
You won't wear your Bills jersey?
No, I won't wear my bill, especially after this past weekend.
Exactly.
How do you think I feel?
Right? Right? Just like last year, if they're looking for anybody to work the sticks or anything, I'm willing to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Me too.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Okay, that's
Me
a great,
too.
great point. Pat
Yes.
Mullen, if
Sign me
Pat
up.
is still on the call, let's keep track of that, but I'll shoot Pat an email on that.
Yeah,
on
no,
that.
I'd be more than happy to do that. I'll wear the pants and the jacket so it looks official on the sideline.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Joe,
I'll shoot an
I
email
hope you wear
out to
pants.
some of the sergeant guys here and
Okay.
just see who's available for that.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so
Awesome.
that's at 8 o'clock, October 19th. Again, I plan on going. So if you're from Moncton or St. John area, let's start making arrangements and all trying to be there to support Ray for this big night. And with that, folks, that's your Monday night meeting for October the 9th.
Cheers.
All right.
Have a good one, guys.
Okay.
Night.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
See you guys.